In the last video, our protagonist told Miss Snow he will be joining the assassination faction. For those who haven't seen it yet, click the icon at the top and watch that video first. Now, on to the next part. After hearing his bold decision, Miss Snow shakes her head, half amused, half frustrated. You're gonna get us both killed. You know that. Not if I can help it. Miss Snow lets out a defeated sigh, shaking her head with a smirk. You really are something else, Manhwa. Thanks. I aim to be legendary, he replies, the playful sparkle in his eyes hinting at the mischief brewing in his mind. The main character continues, that nonchalant grin plastered on his face. Yeah, this is my shot to become the Emperor's assassin. If I die as an assassin, people will definitely remember me. The death rate will skyrocket, he muses to himself, a little thrill running through him with the thought. And the faction led by the second strongest martial artist. They got loads of secret books. He can't help but think, isn't that my dream place to level up? His smile widens. Perfect, he announces to Miss Snow. Since the martial artist is as strong as he said, getting revenge seems almost impossible. I've probably just stirred up some trouble at best. So, this is the blessed plan. Miss Snow's face reflects surprise mixed with concern, her expression tight with tension. But, you will die, she warns, her voice quivering with worry. With a serious look, the main character channels a bit of that Gojo filter vibe, eyes sliding with confidence. That's what makes it exciting, he replies, his tone unwavering. Seeing her sadden, she thinks there's no hint of deceiving, just raw excitement. But why is he doing this? The immortal punch means nothing compared to his life. What else can I offer him? Suddenly, a thought flashes through her mind, and she blushes furiously. Could it be? Does he want me to be his partner in bed? Flustered, she tries to cover her face, while the main character looks utterly bewildered by her reaction. She stammers, I think I owe you a great debt of gratitude. Is there something I can do for you? Her inner turmoil churns. How could I think such thoughts? I shouldn't have. Meanwhile, the main character, oblivious to her embarrassment, has a playful glint in his eye. Well, there is something that only you can do, he says to his knees. Miss Snow braces herself. Anticipation flooded her system. What is that? She asks, heart racing. He strikes yet another dramatic pose, pointing toward him, his expression utterly mischievous. He gets a secret. The tension in the air is thick, leaving her both curious and flustered. She stares at him, a mixture of relief and exasperation, blushing. This guy really knows how to keep me on my toes, she thinks, shaking her head. The scene unfolds with Miss Snow's confusion etched on her face, as the main character beams at her like a innocent child. She lets out a resigned sigh, muttering to herself, Okay, that's enough, he exclaimed. She takes up a walking stick, ready to move on. Do you know any other members of the martial arts faction? He asks, curiosity glinting in his eyes. The Lord of Yuan City, she replies, her tone shifting as if recalling something obvious. Suddenly, chaos erupts as the young master of the family strides in, flanked by his other servants. They lash out at anyone in their way, showing no regard for those around. The young master is passing by, barks a sycophantic tale, scrambling to clear the path. The young master spots a couple in the crowd and maliciously points at them, demanding, Bring that beauty over here. The couple stands their ground, defensive. The man, brimming with courage, retorts, How dare you? You shameless brat. I'd rather die. Follow your orders. But before he can draw his sword, burly henchmen seize him roughly. The young master is summoning you, they declare, dragging him away. The woman glances at her husband with panic, realizing the young master's intentions. And hearing that, the woman's eyes widen in shock. She pointed her finger at her husband, her voice sharp with disbelief. The beauty you're referring to, is he? In the fray, the wife steps forward determined. Let me help you. Today we'll teach these lunatics a lesson, she yells, grinding her teeth in frustration. The young master, disgusted, scoffs. Put this woman in her place. His bodyguards spring into action, muscles flexing as they charge toward the woman, striking ridiculous gym poses. The atmosphere is thick with tension as she finds herself suffocated between the bulky men, bewildered. What kind of weird move is this? She gasps, her voice muffled. Amid the chaos, the main character perches above the scuffle, his eyes glowing white with determination. Suddenly, a small explosion rocks the scene. sending dust spiraling into the air, shifting everyone's attention to the source of the disturbance. From the cloud, the main character emerges, clutching a brick in one hand while hoisting the strangler off the ground with the other. "What's all this fuss?" he quips, unfazed by the spectacle. "Kid, let me go," the strangler pleads, panic creeping into his voice. "My dad is the lord of the city." The main character, still wearing that mischievous smile, looks at him with a gleam of challenge in his eyes. "And what does that mean for me?" he retorts, ready to turn the tide in this escalating confrontation. The main character grips the arrogant young master tightly, silencing him with a hand over his mouth. "So what?" he mutters, feeling the man tremble beneath his grasp. The young master's eyes widen in fear, bloodshot and frantic, as he spits out, "My father is coming soon. You won't escape. And when he gets here, you'll be begging for death." On the surface, the main character's expression hardens, but inside, he's bubbling with glee. Isn't that just perfect? He thinks, plotting his next move. Originally, he had contemplated stepping in only to kill this lunatic and end up a target for bodyguards. But if the lore himself takes me out instead, wouldn't that just boost my death rating even more? Just then, a magical pendant shaped like an infinity symbol glimmers in the air, with the word Immortality etched upon it. A system announcement chimes in, declaring, "Heroic action estimated death rating is C." "Wait, what?" the main character thinks, stunned. "This is the first time I've gotten a death rating notification." So the system agrees with my plan too. A wide grin spreads across his face as the reality of the situation sinks in. The bodyguards, having abandoned cover, rush toward the main character, shouting, "Young master." The grateful couple turns to him, panic evident in their faces. "Thank you for helping us, but this man is too powerful. Please, you need to leave now." With a casual shrug, the main character pulls out his handbag and starts slapping the young master. "Take that, you arrogant brat." The bodyguards lose their minds, screaming, "Young master," in disarray, while the girl looks distressed and chaos. Still maintaining his hold on the young master, the main character glares at the approaching bodyguards. "Don't you dare move, or I'll kill him," he warns, applying more pressure on the bodyguards. The once arrogant young master now begs, "Please spare me. This entire city belongs to my father. I'll give you whatever you want, just don't kill me." With a devilish smirk, the main character leans closer, eyes burning. "Don't surrender. Get your dad over here." Suddenly, the rumbling of hooves announces the arrival of the city leader, a strong-looking man riding a majestic horse. The main character watches, excitement coursing. The young master cries out, "Dad!" The city lord, exuding authority, casts a fierce gaze at the scene. "Shut up," he bellows, his voice booming enough to make the main character feel the power. This man clearly knows martial arts, thinks impressed. The sheer force of his voice reveals the mastery he possesses, capable of commanding attention in just a shot. As the city lord eyes the main character, he underestimates him, sensing a weak aura. He assumes he's just a beginner martial artist, yet he's puzzled by the strength required to beat his son so easily. What is this kid? He wonders, intrigued by the strange situation unfolding. The tension thickens as the two forces, father and son, confront the unexpected challenge, each moment pulsating with tension. The stage is set for an explosive show, where the main character's bold actions can either lead to his downfall or propel him to the spotlight he craves. The main character feels the weight of the man's presence like a leaden blanket pressing down. This feels unbearable, he thinks, discomfort creeping in as he tightens his grip on the master, determined not to let him. Seeing the city lord approach, our protagonist called out, "Stop!" The city lord, taken aback, thought to himself, "Impressive. Usually, people can't even talk under this kind of order." He muses, acknowledging the young master's daring spirit. The city lord adopts a friendly demeanor, almost as if he's playing the part of a wise old man. "My young friend, don't be rash," he begins. "Let's talk this through. My son has indeed gone too far. Please, let him go. I'll be much harsher with him in the future." The main character's expression sours. "Seriously? I just put on this annoyed face, and you're apologizing?" He feels a surge of frustration. "Shouldn't you be threatening me? How am I supposed to get you to kill me like this?" He glances at the system screen, his hopes lifted when he sees that the estimated death rating hasn't decreased. I still have a chance, he reassures himself. Your son is abducting people randomly in the streets, he shoots back, refusing to back down. Do you really think one apology is enough to fix that? The city lord bows slightly, a gesture of humility that further infuriates the main character. The two are disciples of the lunar faction, he explains, a hint of desperation in his voice. Your founder and I go back a long way. I'll offer 200 deals of sterling silver another day. Can we not forgive my disgraceful son's behavior? The couple watches with rising tension, their thoughts racing. He's identified us. Is that a threat? But then again, he controls all of Yon City. We can't really do anything to him. The husband nods, bowing deeply. My lord, you have been too kind. We just arrived in the city and may have made our own share of mistakes. As the crowd murmurs, the city lord's patience wears thin. And what about the people your son has harmed? He sighs, his voice heavy with resignation. This isn't the first time. Best to stay away from trouble. The main character, unable to hold back, shouts out the city lord's name, catching his attention. The city lord's expression shifts to one of annoyance, his brow furrowed. Do you really think that as long as you pay some money and apologize, things will just work out? He growls, his anger palpable in the air. The tension crackles between them. The main character's resolve hardening in the face of the powerful city lord. This is it, he thinks, feeling the thrill of the moment. If I can push this further, maybe I can escalate the situation to something more chaotic. He tightens his grip on the young master. The main character smirks at the city lord, his tone dripping with sarcasm. You seem to be quite familiar with this tactic. I bet your son often creates messes, and you just clean them up. He gestures dismissively at the injured people sprawled on the ground. But your son plays cards with the wrong crowd. This isn't his first time abducting someone publicly. What about the people he killed and injured? How would you pay for that? The young master, nearly strangled, gasps for air as he overhears the main character's words. We must pay with his life. The main character thinks darkly. You can see the fear creeping into the city lord's expression, realizing the precarious situation he's in. This kid won't listen. What a difficult case. The city lord mutters under his breath. Desperate, the city lord tries with How about you tell me what I must do for you to release my son? His voice wavers slightly, betraying his unease. The main character, a nonchalant smile playing on his lips, responds, release him? It's simple, only when I die. His menacing grin sends a chill down the spine of his mouth. But inwardly, he feels elation. This is it, my first high-rated death. Around him, the crowd murmurs, impressed by the main character's grin. He's just a passerby, yet he is willing to stand up for justice and sacrifice his life. They say, admiration is the invincible. Signed, the city lord realizes there is no room for negotiation. Suddenly, an old man materializes behind the main character with a sinister black weapon, grabbing him in ropes before he even has a chance to move. The main character grunts in pain as he goes to his knees, bound and betrayed. Yet, despite his predicament, he feels a surge of happiness. Let's go. As the city lord mounts his horse, he turns to the main character. Kid, what's your name? With a grin, the main character introduces himself. I have no one to back me up, so feel free to kill me without remorse. His thoughts echo his bravado. Go for it. What are you waiting for? The city lord's eyes narrow, impressed by the main character's ability. You're quite the daring one. Not an ordinary man. He gestures for the old man to release the main character. The shock on the old man's face is evident as he complies. If you want to join my army and serve the country, the city lord continues, report to my estate. The main character's heart races. This was not what he expected, but it's an opportunity he can't pass up. Joining the army, this could lead to so many possibilities. With a renewed sense of purpose, he nods slowly, weighing his options as the city lord gives him an answer. This could be my ticket to something much greater. The main character grins, watching as his carefully crafted script unravels before his eyes. What's wrong with the script? He thinks, confusion swirling in his mind. In the chaos, the city lord's son, now freed from the main character's grasp, calls out desperately, "Dad," as he's supported by one of the bulky men nearby. The scene shifts dramatically as the city lord turns to his son, delivering a swift slap to the face. "Shut up! I didn't restrain you enough before the guards brought him back," he scolds, his voice filled with frustration. The young master lands back on the ground. visibly hurt and humiliated. The main character stands back, feeling a strange mix of satisfaction and disbelief. He watches as the city lord, holding the reins of his horse, turns to him. "If you're interested, you're welcome to find me at my estate anytime," he says, his tone surprisingly cordial. Stunned, the main character thinks to himself, "What has happened? How did it go wrong?" In the background, whispers rise from the crowd. The young master is a spoiled brat, but at least the lord has some sense. He's quite forgiving. That warrior is lucky to be recognized by him. If he joins the lord's army, he'll be set for life. Internally, the main character is crying like a hamster, frustration boiling over. "We've been messing around for so long. The atmosphere was perfect. I even had my final words ready, so why am I still alive?" The realization hits him like a cold wave. "Those two didn't kill me. They even made this a recap. I'm laughing. Let's take back this story." As he watches the scene unfold, he notices his estimated death rating of C beginning to drop. The glowing immortality lock in his peripheral vision still shines bright, signaling that the death rating is still increasing. "My death rating didn't reset even after the Lord left. Does that mean if I die now, I can still get a relatively high rating?" But doubt creeps in. Why would it be like this? Am I any different from who I was before? The crowd around him begins to cheer, smiling and clapping for his bravery. Even the two disciples from earlier seem pleased. In that moment, the realization strikes him. If he dies now, he won't just be some random nobody. He'll be remembered as the hero who stood up to the world's smartest. So this is the correct way of using this system, he thinks, determination lighting up his mind. As long as I keep making a name for myself, I'll gain more fame and recognition. And when I die, I'll become a lot stronger. With newfound clarity, he resolves that if he fails to die while challenging someone, his death rating will only continue to climb. No matter the outcome, whether I die or survive, I will be winning you. The main character's brain widens, excitement bubbling within him as he contemplates the thrilling path ahead. The main character's eyes gleaming with ambition, his thoughts racing. And when I finally die, it will be a high-quality epic death. He dreams, the excitement causing him to salivate. Meanwhile, in the lord of the city's lavish home, the young master is nursing his bruised cheeks, tears streaming down his face as he sobs. Why did you recruit that guy instead of teaching him a lesson? The city lord, ever calm and collected, responds, "Why be so impatient? Stop worrying about it." When he was caught, the expressions on my people's faces show that my disobedient son had accumulated quite some idiocy. If I killed him in front of him, my image as a benevolent lord would crumble. Recruiting the kid claims the people's favor. With a stern gaze, he continues, "You disobedient son, you deserve this for a long time. If you keep this up, you'll get in a big trouble soon. For the next month, don't even think about stepping foot outside of the city." The young master, bewildered, asks, "Why?" The Lord explains, "During that time, His Highness may visit the city himself. Keeping you here is to prevent you from getting yourself killed." The Crimson Emperor, "How trustable are your sources?" The young master questions, skepticism racing his voice. "How could the Emperor inform you about his work? Who knows what kind of assassins it might train?" The Lord dismisses his son's concerns with the brain. Whether he joins the city army or not, I have ways of dealing with it. If he joins, it'll make things much easier, the young master admits reluctantly. "Aren't there plenty of thieves up on the mountain? Are you really planning to send them?" "Exactly," the Lord replies, a sly smile creeping across his face. That's it for today's video. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment if you're up for part 2 of this video. Got a new